So for this bag, I've chosen to use a magnetic closure. You can pick these up at just about any major crafts retailer. They'll have a purse finding section. These are sold in 3-set packs, so you'll have plenty of extras if you need them for anything else. So this is the female end, and this would be going through the fabric of the front of the bag. And then the flap bends down with the male end to close there. So I know that I'm going to want my closure right about here, and it has 2 prongs on the back. So those prongs actually go straight through the knitted fabric, and even though this is Fair Isle and it's fairly tight, it actually goes through really easily. It just kind of moves the yarn aside, as you can see there, barely. And it also has this washer, and that goes over this before you actually push the pins down, and that'll help keep the fabric intact. So you can use a screwdriver to push these down, or however you like. Make sure they're really flat. And so this part only goes through the knitted fabric because that keeps the inside of the lining totally clean. The opposite is true for the male end. This actually only goes through the interfacing because that means that once you have the knitted portion of the front flap down, you don't see a big annoying silver spike essentially coming through here, because what you'd see going through there is what you see here, and it's kind of messy looking. It's not very attractive. And I think this type of closure is most appropriate in this sort of a bag because you do have this really pretty pattern here that you don't want to disrupt with a buckle or anything else sewn on. So the way you would put the male end on is that you'd find your location where it's going to meet up. So in this case, right about here in the middle. And you just kind of, because this is a good thick interfacing, and this won't always work, but you just kind of dig the little prongs in a little bit and we'll kind of leave a mark. And you want to use very, very sharp sewing scissors or utility knife and be very careful and just cut through this interfacing just a little bit, because these edges, these prongs, are pretty sharp, and what they'll do is they'll just kind of cut the hole open just as big as it needs to be to push this through the interfacing. And then you just do the same thing where you use this little washer, put it over the prongs, and then fold the prongs down. And then you've completely installed your magnetic clasp, and you can finish sewing the knitted part down to the edge of the bag.